What if I told you someone somewhere knows the things you searched last night, the videos you watched, and the videos you're gonna watch? Back in early 2000s, online data was just about cookies and ad tracking. But now, your phones know if you're anxious. The apps can predict your next move, and companies, they show you what they want to show you before you even know it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Inclusive Voices, a channel where we discuss business ethical dilemmas. So, I'm your host Sadia Sufi. Today we're going to talk about data privacy and about the scandals in past few years. We live in a digital world where data is currency. But what if data is being misused? What if companies cross the line between personalization and manipulation? So let's break it down case by case. Let's discuss scandals and get into this topic.
Cambridge Analytica, a company which trawls personal data to try to predict, then alter voter behaviour. A company which claims it was pivotal in getting Donald Trump elected, but which today, extraordinarily, has been suspended from Facebook.
In 2018, the world learned that Cambridge Analytics harvested over 87 million of data from Facebook users. And this data was not being used for ads or services. This data was being used for a political campaign, just through a silly quiz app. While people, they thought they were just getting to know their friends by doing this personality silly quiz. Little did they know that they were being used for a political campaign. For a while, Facebook didn't say anything about it. They did not just allow this, they enabled it and said nothing until media forced it to. In whistleblower C. Willy said that we exploited Facebook to harvest millions of profiles. Legally speaking, users have agreed to terms and conditions of Facebook. But ethically, do you think this is right? There was no users legally users agreed to these terms and conditions. But ethically, they have not been informed. There was no informed consent about this. Pause. Do you think clicking I agree on a 40-page terms and conditions is being informed? In this entire Facebook scandal, in my opinion, I think data has been misused in two ways. One, being informed consent. Second, being manipulative practices. Informed consent. Sounds cool, right? It basically means a person being informed what he or she is agreeing to. Now tell me, when was the last time you read a 30-page long terms and conditions or privacy policy? Never, I would say. I'm pretty sure most of us just scroll through all the 30 pages and just click I agree. This is not being informed. This cannot be considered as being informed because you're not specifically pointing out when you're signing to the app that this specific data is going to be used for this specific purpose. If your customer doesn't know, then it's not informed consent. Moving on to manipulative practices. It's pretty self-explanatory. Manipulative practices, not practicing something and being unethical, I would say. Yeah. But until how far? How does these algorithms know what I'm gonna buy next, what video I'm gonna like next, and how far do they take this data and algorithms and what do they use? In this case, they used for a political campaign. It got out luckily, unless no one would know a word about it. So now we know that the data was misused in two ways, but how did they implement it? Let's dive into that. The data was harvested by Cambridge Analytics, and the same data was used to send targeted political ads and campaigns to the users. Specifically, this happened in 2016 USA elections, but this did not come out until 2018, and Facebook never owned up to it until 2018. Because of this, Facebook had a huge fine by FTC. Facebook paid $5 billion as fine by FTC that was charged, and also Cambridge Analytics got a very bad backlash because of this, and both of the companies went under a lot of legal consequences. That's all about Facebook, but it leaves us with a question. Does paying $5 billion worth country's future? I'm leaving it to you. To most of the people, TikTok is just a very playful platform where you can scroll for hours and pass your time. It's not only about dances, memes, brain rot, or behind the scenes. It's way more powerful and way more invasive. Underneath this playful surface, TikTok collects insane amount of data of, maybe you can call it algorithm, or just them spying on us. It's not just what they collect. The question is why they do it, how they do it, and what do they do with it. Let's find out. What does TikTok actually know? We all know that TikTok is known for tracking location, but it gets way farther than that. It also tracks whatever you type, whatever is on your clipboard, in the app and even outside the app. And all those funny filters and all those funny challenges you do on the TikTok camera. You think it's not being tracked? Well, you're wrong. Those filters, those funny challenges play a huge part in your facial recognition. You might not know it, but TikTok has it. And finally, it also tracks your other personal data, like IP address, like your algorithm habits, and sell it to people. Why is TikTok so controversial? The controversies don't arise from the privacy issue. They arise for the power. As many of you all know, TikTok is a Chinese company, and it's owned by ByteDance. And I think everyone is aware watching this video that how Chinese companies are. The law in China are very strict. If the government asks you to hand over data, you are left with no choice. You have to hand it over to the government. This is a huge privacy concern. All the mass collection of data TikTok does, unnecessary location tracking, unnecessary IP address tracking, unnecessary keypad tracking. Why does TikTok do this? Just because of huge privacy concerns, TikTok has been banned from many countries around the world. Few examples are India, Canada, New Zealand, and recently United States of America as well. But they banned it, and again and then they were fine with it, and then I don't know, a whole controversy Trump played over there. Trump, Facebook, Snapchat, and any WhatsApp or any other platform. TikTok does mass data collection of unnecessary stuff like keypad tracking, like location detection, face recognition, although it does not make sense to a point that legally it's illegal, if you get what I mean. This isn't just about surveillance. It's about a surveillance with a smile on. And the worst part, no one even knows about it. You're just dancing onto your camera, making funny challenges, making funny memes, thinking that you're just gonna post it. What if they're watching you, watching the behind the scenes? What's happening in your background? What color is your kitchen floor? What refrigerator you use? Or what phone, like in general, you use? You never know. Let's talk about legal actions taken by governments around the world regarding TikTok. In European Union, TikTok has been banned and they fined 345 million euros for violating children data privacy in 2023. And in India, it's permanently banned since 2020 as a national security issue. In United Kingdom, TikTok has been fined 12.7 million pounds for collecting data on children without proper consent, and it has been banned from government offices. And in Canada and Australia, TikTok has been banned on official devices, and ongoing discussion on wider restrictions. And in US, as we already know, that it had been banned for like 12 hours, and then again they launched it again with some set number of rules and regulations. But we still have yet to wait if the TikTok will follow it or not. We are witnessing a global reckoning where nations are asking, who really controls our digital lives? And is one viral app worth the risk? Why does TikTok do this? The more they have, the more they can sell. As you all know, in this day and age, data is compared with oil, and apps like TikTok is the brill. Let's talk about one of the most quietest but yet most powerful offenders among data privacy debate, Google. If you're online, chances are high that Google is with you. Even if you're watching a video, navigating something online, whether you're searching something, Google is there with you. It's a digital ecosystem. In 2020, state of Arizona sued Google for misleading the users about location. At that time, Google had a setting called location and activity, and you could disable it by just one click. Little did the users know that even if you disable it, your location is still being tracked. Google just tracked the location with a different name called web and activity. Investigations uncovered that Google was still tracking and storing locations and giving them suggestions and ads. The major source of income for Google is ads. By just tracking your location, it's making revenue out of it. This is a small experiment you can still do to this date. Just keep your phone aside and have a conversation with your friend. Talk about a trip, like example going to Georgia. Talk about it for 10 minutes and then keep it aside. And then 40 minutes later, again bring it up. And see, and open Google. You can see in the news area, you can see everything about Georgia, like trip planners about Georgia, flight to Georgia, and everything Georgia. Let's move on. By 2022, Google agreed to pay $391.5 million to settle with 40 US states over this deceptive practice. In September 2023, another settlement, this time $93 million, with California for similar allegations. And the story isn't over. In January 2025, a class action lawsuit was allowed to proceed to trial, where users claim Google still tracked them even after they have taken steps to prevent it. From an ethical perspective about Google, there are three major concerns. One being lack of user consent. Users believe that they are turned off tracking, but in one way they're just misleading and just manipulating their users by still tracking them. The second one is transparency. They have no transparency with the users, and they're not telling the users that they're tracking and not giving any information about it. And the third one is corporate accountability. Even after settlements and everything, what do you think? Until how far can we trust Google? One of the biggest tech companies cannot be trusted. Philosopher John Stuart Mill believed in transparency and true freedom of choice, both of which were actively undermined here. In fact, Google used the dark patterns, subtle design tricks to mislead their users and just blaming it on the engineering, that the engineer did that way. How far is this ethical? Enough about big giant companies. Let's talk about the tech that is in your living room. Imagine you having a conversation with your friends, even like a private conversation with your family, and your AI assistant is listening to you even when you did not say a keyword. Alexa. Amazon's virtual assistant Alexa has been storing and recording all your conversations happened around the device without your consent, without you saying the keyword Alexa. And these recordings have been monitored by real humans in the company to make improvements in their AI assistant. This controversy with Alexa has impacted Amazon a lot. In 2023, Amazon paid $25 million as a fine in USA and FTC settlement for violation of children privacy laws by retaining kids' voice data and location history through Alexa-enabled devices. Amazon paid $25 million as fine to US FTC for violating children privacy laws. The main concern about this controversy is the data being misused. Why was violating child privacy laws? Unintentional recordings, human review, and lack of transparency of the company. These were the major privacy concerns brought up in this controversy. So what are the solutions for this data privacy scandals? The governments, they should apply more laws, more regulations, and be thorough with what apps they allow in the country so that the population of the country is safe. And then as a user, you should be aware, check everything. I wouldn't say read terms and conditions or 30-page terms and conditions, but at least try to be aware, like about which app you're using, how you're using it, and what impact does it have it on your life. Example, TikTok. With all this controversy as well, you're just doom scrolling. It's not helping you in any way. Might as well just delete that shit and live happily. And for companies, I would suggest that companies please be more transparent with your audience, with your users. Trust me, if you are more transparent, they would give you success. Because the worst thing a user wants to experience is data privacy issues, and in some sort of way them getting hacked or being blackmailed. And one more thing the companies can do is strong encryption and security. Please provide your users with security and encryption so that they can just peacefully use your app without any worry. And the last thing they can do is ethical AI development. Like in the last example of in the last scandal we discussed about Amazon's Alexa, that was completely unethical. Just ethically develop AI. There's no use for you to spy. You can, for that data, you can just call people and just ask them to have like normal conversation. There's no good thing about spying on people. If a customer is trusting your product and buying it, you should maintain that trust. Why spy on people? So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. Professor and all my colleagues, please subscribe and like the videos. I hope to see you guys next semester, I would say. Stay tuned.